peach, the lemon lime, the strawberry shortcake, and the blue raspberry. No carbs, no sugars, no gluten. If you give a shit about that, we are live in over 100 stores in Tennessee. Florida just opened up. Go to hardafseltzer.com today and check your store locator or order them right to your house.
Welcome to Drinking Bros, presented by GhostBed.com.
Yeah, welcome to the NFL Pick'em Show, kids. What are we in, week 15? 16 now. Goddamn right. Sweet 16. Not like it matters. I won every fucking game last week. I won every fucking game last week. Damn it. Who cares? As always, we're brought to you by MyBookie.com. Promo code Drinkin Bros doubles your first deposit all the way up to $1,000. Get off the couch and get into the action today with MyBookie.com. Don't forget the promo code Drinkin Bros to double your first deposit up to $1,000. D'Anthony, I learned a fun new thing today.
What was it?
About football. That we're now doing college signings in December. When did that happen?
I don't know.
Always.
It was no. It was always February. I know because I went through it. When did they switch to December?
Multiple signing days. There's always a signing day in December.
Okay, so on yesterday's show, I talked about college football being a mess. All this shit started popping up late last night and then into today, and I was like, man, why would you put a signing day in December during the middle of bowl season preparation, especially the big schools who are in the playoffs and things like that? Why do this now?
You can get kids enrolled in the spring.
Yeah, but you can do that in February too, right?
No.
If they pick.
No.
They're halfway through the semester in February.
Right.
You
can
get kids enrolled early. They're practicing with the team in the spring.
So then why not just eliminate February altogether and do it in November?
Because you can get them the year before in February.
Yeah, like a high school senior can enroll and do dual enrollment and be on the practice squad.
You can sign your junior year,
in the
February
spring.
of your junior year.
But most of these teams right now are going through practices for their bowl games. This takes their coaching staff right out of it. I mean, there's games today, tomorrow, all that shit.
Recruiting's 24/7.
God damn it,
Yeah,
dude.
they're never not recruiting.
What a fucking
when
mess.
Saban wins the national championship, he's like, I'm late for recruiting. Like, I need to, he's almost pissed off that he had to play the game.
Yeah, probably. Look, I understand it now. This shit's getting out of control, but we got a lot of DMs about this. I want to credit you, D'Anthony. A few weeks ago, you said, I don't understand why Phil Knight just isn't buying up players for Oregon now that that's legal. He did it today. So he bought everybody on the planet for Oregon. Bo Nix is coming back, I guess, for his 90th year there. A lot of people like him. I'm not one of them who believes he can win a national championship, but they are loading up for the future. And one of those kids is actually in our own backyard from Dripping Springs here.
Yeah, there's always Lakeway, Dripping Springs area talent going
I
to
was
college.
unaware that Dripping Springs, like we just moved here a couple years ago. So like I've heard about Lake Travis and all those guys. Who's the other big one?
Drip is new to the game.
Is?
It's Westlake and Lake Travis.
Yeah, Westlake is the other one.
Westlake produced Drew Brees and Nick Foles, among others. But
Gotcha.
Nick Foles, who's starting this week.
I was going to say, he's starting this week. So they've had a lot of talent there. Baker Mayfield, I think, went there.
Your favorite, Sam Ellinger?
Mayfield is...
both.
Went to Westlake.
I hate both of them.
Mayfield is Lake Travis.
Okay. So one of the big, because now they're doing this thing called flipping season, which is fun, where it's just recruits are flipping to other schools. So one of them actually was the Dripping Springs kid that I was talking about. He went to Oregon, got bought out by them, and flipped this morning from his commitment. Now, I got to see this kid play in person. As you know, I coach my kids' stuff. Both he's in soccer and baseball. So baseball was on a Friday night practice. We ended a little bit early, and there was a ton of cars over at the high school. And Jax was like, "Hey, what is that?" And I go, "I think it's the homecoming game." And he goes, "I want to go." And he's 8, and he never really expressed an interest in football or anything, because at this age, they're just kind of playing flag football.
Right.
It's not like you and I had when we were growing up, where they're worried about getting concussions and shit. So like, they don't really do that until middle school at a lot of these places. So we went over and saw it, and the reason why I was interested in going is I heard the quarterback for Dripping Springs had offers from Ohio State, Baylor, and then somebody else. Oregon wasn't even in the picture at this point, right? And
Colorado and Houston are the other ones listed.
okay, cool. So the kid's name is Austin Novosad, I think. Right?
Yeah, he's handsome.
Good-looking dude, and that was the first time that I'd been to a Texas high school stadium. Growing up in Georgia, look, football is king in Georgia as well. You got Valdosta, you got Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields, all those guys. Georgia football is massive, which is why University of Georgia is so good. So much homegrown talent there. If you can just keep the state of Georgia, chances are you'll be pretty fucking good, right? So I went to this high school game, and I was blown away. I mean, it destroys everything in fucking Georgia.
Texas doesn't fuck around.
Holy shit, dude. I mean, it's another level. So I watched this kid play. It is 56-0 at halftime. Now, do I think he's great? I don't know. The team that
it's hard to tell.
It is.
Other high schoolers.
It is, and this is where I'm going to go with all of this shit today. Where we'll see what happens in the pros, and this will go back to Justin Fields and Trevor Lawrence and everybody else, all the games that we're calling this weekend. But with this kid, I watched him go. There was one play where he went through 4 progression reads and then found somebody out on like a bubble screen and then was able to pass it to them. And I'm like, dude, in what universe could you ever do that in where you could go through 4 reads and then be just, I mean, nobody touched this kid whatsoever. How do you judge these kids and then pay them this much money when you don't really know who the fuck they're playing? Even Arch Manning, and I think Bob brought this up, isn't it like a 2A school in Louisiana? Do we even know that?
It's a low school.
And they got housed once they got to the national championship or the state championship. And his numbers were terrible. Arch Manning's numbers were terrible. How are we paying kids this much money and we don't really fucking know what they're going to be?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know how. I mean,
I can tell you. I know exactly how. You want to know the answer?
The money's not real. That's part of it.
Yeah, it's called the free market.
Yeah.
Well, I would say that, right? But then
That's all it is.
Hang on.
Someone paid, then they set a price, and then that keeps going.
But I look at what happened at Ohio State, right? Ohio State, Notre Dame, and a couple other schools were like, dude, we're going to stop paying these guys right out of high school. If they come in and they're great, awesome, and they deserve the money, and we want to keep them there and not go to the transfer portal. But there was a pissed off alumni who wrote something that I read on Reddit that said he had personally paid, I guess, Quinn Ewers $1 million. Well, now Quinn Ewers didn't fucking play at Ohio State. So now he's out $1 million. That story travels along the rest of the boosters.
Yeah.
Isn't that going to happen more and more? Like, you look at Miami or Texas A&M. They shelled out all the money in the world this last year. Both schools won, 5, 6 games tops, I think, for Miami and Texas A&M.
So A&M, they've been recruiting well for a while, so that's kind of egregious. But if Miami spent a bunch of money this year and didn't win a bunch, who cares?
Yeah.
Because you're not going to win. You're not going to win right away.
And there's going to be
if they paid a bunch for freshmen, them winning 5 games this year isn't a damning thing.
But the top tiered talent is expected to win immediately, like a CJ Stroud or all these guys, Bryce Young. These are all freshmen that are coming in and winning.
They're not expected to win immediately when you don't have an offensive line, or if or if your receivers are also freshmen. Yeah. There's freshmen who can come in there and you can plug and play and are amazing, but a whole team of freshmen is going to get fucking ass fucked. I don't care what star rating they have.
Totally, but maybe the quarterback position, I think you're expected, and I think that's what we're expecting out of the NFL players, which we'll get to, with like Trevor Lawrence. We're seeing him come to life, and dude, there was a lot of us that thought this could be the biggest bust ever, and it turns out he's not.
Well, turns out he had a Urban Meyer as his coach last year.
Yeah, no shit. And you can only kick a guy so hard.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, look, some say you wish you could kick him harder. But with that being said, I think out of our quarterback position, even going into to college, you expect him to come in and play and dominate and do well.
Yeah, but that's a relatively new phenomenon, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
And still a relatively unreasonable one.
I agree, but like take this kid from Miami that they paid $9.5 million to, this quarterback. What if it fails? Then what happens to all of this shit?
Nothing.
I mean,
They spend more money.
To Rob's point, it's a free market, so there's going to be elasticity, right? Like there's going to be reactions to certain things that happen, and they're going to be sometimes natural, sometimes they're going to be unnatural reactions. But we don't know yet because it's new. We don't know how. Like there's not necessarily a 1-to-1 relationship between how historically successful a university is and one, who their current coach is, and two, what their fucking booster situation is, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, usually you see schools like Texas, for example, are always going to have money, but when's the last time they were good?
I know.
You know what I mean?
I
so
know.
it's going to a team like that's technically a blue blood that now has all this money pumped into them. It's still going to take them 3 to 5 years to create a new system for players coming in.
Right. But even with those players, but let's take the quarterbacks, right? You expect a lot immediately, and then the same with the coaches. With these coaches, they don't give these fucking guys any time either.
Which is
or you're
also
fired.
crazy.
Yeah,
Like,
that's also stupid.
Do you remember how much fucking shit Mike Norvell was getting his first year in Florida State? People were transferring. Oh fucking no.
Yeah.
He didn't win 10 games. Oh fucking no. Like, he's a good coach. He was great at Memphis. It took him a couple years because he's a normal fucking.
And it's going to take A&M a couple years too, but in like 2 years from today, they're going to be a fucking powerhouse.
That's what I think too.
Right. So, so we'll just have to see how it goes. And look, just like any organization in the NFL, like any pro organization, whether it's football or otherwise, there are going to be teams or organizations wholly that mismanage the resources they have. And you're going to be like, oh man, they paid so much money, they have this and that. They should be great, but it only takes a couple of bad decisions to fuck that whole thing up. On the quarterback point, they're always going to be overpaid even in college because it's a premier position.
Yeah.
It's the same as the NFL. They're making $45-50 million a year now, even if it's Dak Prescott or Russell Wilson. So, not that those two are the same guy. Dak Prescott's quite a bit better than Russell Wilson. I'm just saying.
Sure. I just we got a ton of DMs about this this morning, and I said I would address it, but I think of like even coaching kids, right? With that, God, there's already so many parents with unrealistic expectations of their kids being professional athletes and shit like that I'm like, holy fuck. They see these NIL dollars. Now it's going to be even worse at a younger age. And you're like, God damn, man. I've seen all of it. I read all of it. I think, I said this yesterday, I'll say it again. I think college football is a mess right now. And until they kind of figure this out, the one person though that I would like to call out for this, who I think is doing a pretty good job with it, is actually Jim Harbaugh. And I'll go back to that presser after Ohio State, Michigan, where he goes, we'll never have the personnel on the field.
Yeah.
Therefore, we're going to recruit these 3 and 4 stars because we can't get the 5 stars. We can't get the kids to go there. But they all play like a team. They all stay for a while, and then they build and become good later on. It's taken him a while, but
when you include the transfer portal and all this, it might become a situation more akin to college basketball, where the teams that do stay together for multiple years have an advantage over the other teams. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I look at a Kentucky. For years, everybody says Kentucky in basketball has been paying off their players. Maybe that's true. Maybe it wasn't. Right? It doesn't really matter now because the NIL is here. But they also didn't really win anything because the kids didn't really care to be there. They were only going there to go to the NBA after 1 year. And it was just like, all right, great. You got one title out of it, but that's kind of it.
Yeah, I mean, what's the last Kentucky team where you could actually say they cared about the program? Was it like Fox when he was there?
Maybe. What year was that?
I mean, when did the one and done stuff start? 2014?
Before that.
Yeah, a little bit before that. But yeah, Darren Fox, probably the last good Kentucky team.
Yeah.
But if you see the teams that are winning now, and this is why I think college football eventually changed.
Oh my God,
too.
it was 2005.
Was it really?
Sake, man.
Yeah, it's been a while.
17 years of this bullshit.
Man. But the teams that are winning now they all seem to be teams versus all these the players that are being paid. So maybe that's where college football heads.
And you know what's really interesting about Harbaugh, and I think we're kind of seeing a swing back to this to an extent in that style of play. Georgia's the same way. And it's not even a crazy thing that people are valuing this, or it shouldn't be crazy, but that style that Harbaugh and Michigan do, that Georgia does, the main thing it values is fucking offensive line play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
offensive, defensive line play.
So while everyone else is getting 5-star receivers and shit, and that's dope, and it's not that you can't win with that.
But guess what? Like USC lacks, and guess what Miami lacks?
Yeah,
the interior defensive tackles.
They don't have a defense.
By the way, this is the same thing that shitty run NFL organizations have a problem with.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's exactly the same fucking problem.
And to that point, Bob, with Michigan and Georgia, they don't have quarterbacks that will go on to be NFL stars. I don't know. I can't name one receiver by name on either of those teams, but those are the 2 best teams in the country. So maybe we'll see a swing back the other way at the end of all of this. But as far as where it's headed, I don't really fucking know. But that kid I was telling you about got bought out by Oregon. He was committed to Baylor. Waco's an hour down the road. His family lives here. It made sense to me when he passed on Ohio State and all that stuff. I was like, oh, yeah, Baylor's right there. Your family's here. Turned out at the end of the day, it didn't matter. Whatever they paid him, they paid him. And then it continued throughout the rest of the day. But Phil Knight's spending the money, so you called it. He's doing it.
He's got to go against Dabo, and God.
My God, dude. Did you read that quote?
No, I have not read that quote, but is it some Reggie white bullshit?
Well,
no,
they've been
no.
building Clemson in the NIL for a while now in God's name, image, and likeness.
So he said today the only NIL they know is God's name, image, and likeness.
So that's a crossover dad/religious joke, I guess.
Not even a joke, friend.
Yeah.
There was
Not a
no
joke.
It is pretty
kidding in his voice or sarcasm
Dude,
today.
does he think he has superpowers because he believes in a fucking story about a virgin birth 2,000
Have
years
you
ago?
seen him run down a hill? He might have superpowers.
He's
dude.
got thick legs.
He's never fell. And every time I watch it, I'm like, he's gonna fall this time.
Well, he was
No.
a defensive back, right, or a receiver?
Was he?
He was a receiver. I
Yeah,
think.
receiver.
At Bama,
At
yeah.
Bama.
Shit.
And while he was at Bama, I believe he lived with his mom and shared a bed.
Yeah, why not?
I'm sorry.
Why not?
Good
Can
Lord.
we-
There it is. Giorgio's clapping.
Can we
for
get
it.
a softcore history on this?
Yeah.
I know it wasn't that long ago, but fuck's sake, I need to know the answer.
When was the last time adult children slept with their parents inside their bed?
Never.
I mean,
Never.
maybe some frontier times or something. You know, what I mean? The log
Neverland.
cabins,
Sleep
Maybe
on that.
Neverland.
Dig a ranger grave and lie down in that.
Yeah. Eesh. Yeah, but after all those messages, I have no idea where any of this is headed, and I just want to see one team who pays for their kids win and find out what it is. Because even Bryce Young didn't get the NIL money until after he was Bryce Young.
Mm-hmm.
He'd already won the Heisman. Then they were like, all right, great, let's give the kid some money. It's fucking awesome.
but he probably got like a Dodge Charger from Saban's car dealerships.
And that's fine. Like that's nothing crazy. But like the new defensive superstar that was off the board today, Georgia paid him $800,000 a year. And his parents went back and shopped it to Ohio State and a few other universities and said, can you pay more? And they said, no. Notre Dame was one of them too. And they were like, no, we can't pay that. And they were like, well, he's going to Georgia and that's it. So we'll see. If these teams start winning with all this money, look out for Oregon, obviously Texas A&M and Miami. Those seem to be the guys that are spending the most. And then we'll see what happens after that. In the meantime, you know the rules regarding the NFL show. We'll go over the hits and misses last week. There was not a lot of misses, friends. And I've got a wild one. Bob, did you get the slip that I sent you, that I texted you for today's NFL show? This is the craziest one ever, and we'll save it for the second half of the show.
Wait,
here when
we
make
should,
our picks.
before we move on, Franco Harris died today.
Yes.
And,
Yes.
I wasn't me.
It wasn't you.
No,
Okay.
I was not involved.
All right.
Just
All
want
right.
to make that clear.
Sure.
But
That's not the stateside you want.
No,
Yeah,
Franco
it's
Harris
not.
is apparently a good. It's funny because didn't he try to run for office as a Republican and he still got good coverage on ESPN?
I think
So
so,
he must be a pretty good dude.
It was pre-Trump, though.
Yeah,
So
fair enough.
Everybody did back then. But legend of the game, obviously the Immaculate Reception.
Penn State alum.
It was
Obviously.
about 3 days before the 50th anniversary of that. So
Yeah.
it was going to happen in 3 days. Actually, so RIP to him, one of the best to ever do it, and genuinely a good dude.
Mm-hmm.
There's never been a bad story about that guy, even behind the scenes. Last week's scores. Here we go, kids. 49ers. Boy, keep winning with Brock Purdy.
I doubled up on this one. I took
So did I.
49ers plus. I crossed the 0 and took them plus
did
4.
I.
And then I took the under at 50, and I think the odds on the parlay were on the teaser rather was still 134 minus 134. So I actually made some pretty decent money on that.
Yeah, so mine, because I did 7 points. So you were probably at 6 or 6.5. I did 7, so mine was minus 140. You got into my head about the fucking under, so I jacked that up. And
I'm telling you, dude, there's no fucking way
won
these
both
two
of
teams
these.
were going to score more than 50 points.
Yeah, we won both of these. All the bets, by the way, are in Drinkin Bros Sports on Facebook. You will see the slips live every single day for all of these games. So if you're not signed up for there, it's free. Just go on there. The only rule is just don't be an asshole. I think we've only had to ban like 2 people in history on that. Goddamn
Usually it's an Elon Musk style ban, which is like for 7 days, and then we'll bring you back once you stop being a cunt. Otherwise, you end up on the fucking trophy.
You're
which is-
on the trophy.
By the way-
you can't just talk about Texas in every post. All right,
We need
people
to,
get pissed off. Well, we need to update it. I know who it is this year.
Who's it going to be?
I know who it is this
Oh,
year.
we'll
wait
talk
till
about it.
well, we always announce it after the national championship, so
Yeah.
we'll wait. 49ers, though, this has got to be troubling for the rest of the league. They're destroying people with fucking Brock Purdy as your quarterback.
I
don't let this final score fool you. That was a garbage touchdown at the end.
Yeah.
It was 21-6, and they were fucking smoking them. This defense is disgusting.
To be honest, Shanahan's got to calm the defense down in the fourth quarter sometime. I really believe this. I think I heard somebody say this during a broadcast sometime. He's like, they take it so seriously that they don't even want to give up that garbage time point, but it's not worth risking
injury. Yeah. And you love it. Look, I've picked these guys to go to the Super Bowl. I'm going to stick with this pick on this side because once that CMC trade was made, they have not lost.
No.
They're 10-4 now. Next up is Colts Vikings. Holy shit. So, all right, I had this on all the parlays. I won a 3-game, a 4-game, a 5-game, a 6-game, a 7-game, and an 8-game. Those were all in Drinkin Bros Sports. You guys praised me for it, but let's face it, that would not have happened if the Vikings didn't come back from 33-0. I had this on almost every single one of those cards, and they came back and scored 39 points in the second half, and then obviously overtime to win this game. And that was, if I would have lost that would have knocked me out of half of those cards probably. But the Vikings came back and won. Colts are switching to Nick Foles. I like that. Why didn't they do it earlier? I didn't even know I forgot he was on the team.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
how did the Erlinger can't even get there with Nick Foles on the team?
I don't know. I mean, they don't think he's the future of the franchise or anything, so they were doing it for that reason. But Jeff Saturday's never coached before either, so.
Yeah, but he wasn't good at Texas. Why would he be good in the NFL?
No, he was good at Texas. He was very good at Texas.
Sam Erlinger?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was great.
He was probably their best quarterback since Colt McCoy.
Yeah.
What round was he drafted in? Just out of
That
curiosity.
does not
doesn't
mean
matter,
he
'cause-
was good. Wasn't good at Texas.
Right.
Dude, what?
He wasn't like
By
a
your
pro
definition,
style
every Ohio
quarterback.
State quarterback in history is actual dog shit.
They are. Besides Justin Fields, but in the NFL, who's been good besides Justin Fields?
It
doesn't mean you're bad,
translate.
though.
Like Tim Tebow was an incredible college quarterback. He was an awful NFL quarterback.
He won a playoff game, which is something Jalen Hurts has never done, friend.
He hasn't.
Lost last year.
Jay Moore just got engaged to Jeannie Buss.
Sure did.
What the fuck is going on
Get
in
that
life?
bag.
Get that bag, son.
I mean, I get it, I guess.
He's a huge sports fan, too.
Yeah. He's got front row seats now.
Yeah, what was Sam Erlinger's record at Texas?
Went
Just out of curiosity.
He's
Look at his
Really
stats.
good.
Let's look at Jay Moore's stats. Nikki Cox, Nicole Chamberlain. Do you know who Nicole Chamberlain is?
Oh, yeah, sure do.
Jesus Christ. And now Jeannie Buss is 75 years old.
He's funny, man. In real life, he's a
he's
funny
hilarious.
fucking dude. Yeah, man, I'm looking at these numbers. What round was he drafted for Erlinger?
I don't know, like the 5th or 6th. Like he wasn't like a pro style quarterback.
Okay, it looks kind of small. He always looks small there too. What's
He
this?
runs a lot. Like he takes his feet in.
6'1".
He's listed as 6'1", so 6 foot.
Right. He's exactly the type of dude you want as your college.
He's a
quarterback.
college gamer.
He's a college gamer.
He's
yeah.
Baker Mayfield without
That's what it looks like.
without any of the wins.
But Nick Foles actually won a fucking Super Bowl. So why was that even a debate there? Like I don't really understand. What am I missing?
agree. Nick Foles should have been throwing over him. For
Honestly,
sure.
I don't understand why
What
when
am I
Nick
missing?
Foles came back from his injury, somebody didn't immediately make him a starter again because he never got removed because he wasn't good. He got hurt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You don't get Wally Pipp going from one team to another typically.
He's only good in Kelly Green.
Maybe.
No, remember
that first Jacksonville game? He torched it, and then he broke his fucking collarbone.
The first pass was a fucking 84-yard touchdown pass. I think
His
something
first
like that.
time in Philadelphia, he was 27-2, 27 touchdowns, 2 interceptions under Chip Kelly, and then he came back and won the Super Bowl. So like he's only really good as an Eagle.
We'll see.
We'll find out.
I mean, it's
Find
not
out
like,
Saturday.
Well, we're gonna find out that he, like Matt Ryan, has literally no one to throw to on that shitback team. So.
I know, because didn't T.Y. Hilton leave? He got signed by. They cut him, and I think he's on Dallas now.
No, yeah, Dallas. That's right.
Yeah.
So he played one game last year. Nick Foles did.
Okay.
Against Seattle, who wasn't great, but whatever. 250 yards, 68.5% completion percentage, a touchdown, 98.5 rating. And he didn't play. He hasn't played at all so far this year. In 2020, he had a 65% completion percentage and 10 touchdowns. I mean, I don't know, man.
I don't either.
People just don't.
People
don't like him.
I don't think Jeff Saturday is going to be there very much longer.
Is Nick Foles like a dick or something? Does he not practice?
No,
or
I think
work
he's
out
a
hard?
super Christian, right?
Yeah.
Well, that might be the problem.
Through Christ, anything is
Like
possible.
Dabo,
Dan.
he thinks he's got fucking superpowers.
What do his parents do around here?
They own Hop Dotty.
Yeah, Hop Dotty.
Yeah, I mean,
Which is just okay.
It's
is that the beer place?
It's like
burger.
hospital food.
Oh,
to be honest,
okay.
I'm not a fan.
Hospital
not a fan.
burgers.
Yeah, hospital burger.
Yeah, if you've been
you ever
to a
had a
hosp-
hospital burger?
Have you been to a
I
hospital?
don't think I have.
Bro, I had one when Jesse was in this last time. Not good,
It's-
friend.
I spent days just eating nothing but hospital burgers.
Yeah, they're frozen.
Really?
I mean, it's just like
I
a fucking.
couldn't do
Like
it.
a Bubba burger.
hospital
Yeah.
burgers and tendies.
The first
No,
thing
it's
when
not even
Jesse,
it's not even a Bubba burger because it's not a frozen patty that gets turned into a burger later. The entire thing is assembled and frozen, and then it's fucking reheated.
Yep. And then the first thing after the kid was, I go, Jesse, you need anything? She goes, go to fucking PT Terrace. You know, the old PT Terrace. And I did.
Damn it.
Got a sack full of it, dude.
That's not the name of the place.
Well, it should be.
I'm glad we don't have a sponsorship deal with P. Terry's because we would never get fucking paid.
I'd get it right if they did. So it's balls in your court, friend. They just built one right across the street from
Yeah.
our
We
place.
do kind of need a burger sponsor. That'd be
I know.
Yeah,
we
need
fucking
a
great.
burger sponsor.
Mr. Beast has one, for Christ's sake. He's got his own goddamn burgers. Next up, we got the Ravens against the Browns. All right. Only loss of the weekend was this. I actually dropped the, I love the unders down in the 20s. I will always take an under down in the 20s every single time. I dropped this under down to 27.5. And it was 13-3. That was the only loss of the entire fucking weekend. Browns, Ravens. Deshaun Watson just looks like fucking garbage, man. I mean, it's crazy.
I mean, he hasn't played football in 2.5 years. Of course he looks like garbage.
I guess, but like you couldn't score 20 points. Like, I mean, it's bad. And the Ravens are still 9-5 and they keep losing games. I don't know what's going to happen there. Is Lamar Jackson coming back at all? Do we know what's actually wrong with him? Yeah, like for real. Do we know what's wrong with him at all? And is he coming back
I'm
this
sure
week?
he's a little dinged up. They're totally devoid of talent around him.
It's his knee. I mean, honestly, if I'm him, I just kind of like don't play. And maybe, I mean, they're going to franchise tag him.
Yeah, and they're 9-5. Like they've got a high seed in the playoffs right now.
I mean, Lamar,
J.K. Dobbins is back. He had 125 yards on 13 carries.
They have a 0% chance of making it to the Super Bowl.
I agree.
Like, there's no fucking way. They're not beating.
But with Lamar, they can probably win one game, right?
Yeah,
like he'll get them to win one game. So
I think he has the most wins of any quarterback in NFL history before turning 25.
yes,
That's
because
probably right,
he's
yeah.
always got them pretty close, just on his own with no wide receivers. And again, J.K. Dobbins is back, 125 yards, 13 carries, great game for them. 3 points.
He's kind of a bad matchup for the Bills specifically. Now that the running backs are healthy
And then Von
again.
Miller's gone.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, so if he matched up against the Bills in the second round, he could possibly win 2 playoff games. But from his perspective, I can't believe they haven't re-signed him. Honestly, like he's got a knee injury this year or whatever the fuck, but he's still a really good fucking quarterback.
So his demand that stopped the re-sign was he wanted a fully guaranteed contract that was identical to Deshaun Watson. Now, if you're looking at Deshaun Watson right now, as an owner, you're probably having second thoughts about potentially giving him that. So we'll see what happens to this guy.
I mean,
I'd love to see him in San Fran. That would be a dream team for
Yeah.
years and years to come, and it'd be fun to watch.
I just think the NFL salary cap is a fucking joke, and it fucks the players over. That's what I think.
It's also fake.
yeah.
Yeah, it is fake, but the cap hits that the teams take.
They should do it because I mean the Rams somehow figure out how to sign somebody despite having no room on their
not only
cap
the
space.
Rams, but like let's switch this over to baseball. Like the Mets just signed Correa last night for $315 million. Their contracts are into the billions.
They're
over there.
paying $111 million on salary tax this year.
And do they like Steve Cohen doesn't give a shit, right?
Yeah, why does it matter? Baseball shouldn't matter at all because there is no cap space, I guess.
Well, and he's a
So-
billionaire, so how he wants to spend his money, I guess who cares?
Yeah.
But they're saying the competition wouldn't be fair, right?
He'll make like fucking $20 million back on Correa jersey sales.
Why should competition be fair?
Right.
Don't know.
You know where
If you want to fucking so this dude just bought the Suns for $4 billion.
Yeah.
You think he gives a fuck about fair?
Sure does not. Sure does not.
I mean, what the fuck, man? Nobody wants to look. If you're Milwaukee, we can't compete, then fucking move.
Yeah.
Fuck Milwaukee. Come to Austin. You can make plenty of money here.
I agree.
Also,
I agree.
The unfairness is a lot of times what drives the best innovation. Right, Moneyball, the Rays, all that stuff. Like,
Except for now, we found out over the last 15 years that none of the teams that fall into the luxury tax recipient are actually using any of the money on contracts.
And-
they're just keeping the fucking money.
We really taught the Suns owner a lesson, giving him $4 billion.
I know.
Well, I mean, what are you going to do? You can't just fucking steal his property
I know,
from him.
but I'm saying,
and
like,
by property, I don't mean the players. We're not going there. Right?
Yeah,
Even
yeah.
though he would probably consider it that way.
like, oh no, cancel culture, $4 billion.
Yeah, right. But yeah,
but think about what you're saying. He has to sell the team now for $4 billion. The Phoenix Suns in 10 years will be worth $7 billion.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the Warriors sold for what, like $450 million 2010 or something.
Yeah,
And
it wasn't
they're
that
worth
long ago.
easily probably $5.
Dude, I remember when
Yeah.
Cuban bought the Mavericks for $250. It was just like, and
This is
everybody
why
was like, oh, shit.
this is why no city should ever pay for a fucking stadium anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Like the amount of, or at least give. Let's say Seattle back in the day before they moved, and by the way, they had just drafted Kevin goddamn Durant.
Yep.
Before they moved their team, if they had approached a city and said, "Hey, we want you to pay for this stadium, but we're going to give you 1% equity in the fucking team," that's not a bad deal.
Yeah.
Because you're looking at, what did you say it was in 2010? So in 12 years, they went from a $450 million franchise to a $5 to $5.5 billion
franchise.
That's at least a 10x. Right?
Easily.
I mean, what the fuck?
It's crazy.
Why can't we make these kind of deals?
And let alone what the property be worth, right? I mean, in San Francisco, shit.
That's why, like, no matter what the price is for a sports franchise, you just pay.
You just pay it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. 100%.
I mean, if we had the money, we would buy.
Fuck yeah.
This. Although I think Nolan Ryan owns the Round Rock Express, unfortunately, so we're not buying.
Does
that.
he?
Yeah. He's not selling that shit.
Yeah, he's not selling that.
I mean, maybe when he dies, but
Maybe. Let's kill him.
yeah.
We get like a beer league softball team.
Yeah. No thanks.
I mean, maybe if the XFL does well.
No.
We'll buy one of
That's
them.
going to be a fucking bust as well.
Wait, have they started?
No. That's that's The Rock's. He owns that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Black Adam got canceled today, like I said it would too. Next up, we got the Dolphins Bills. Great game. This is what gets my fucking dick hard, dude. Two great teams, fucking snowing. The fans chanting, throwing snowballs at the referee.
Yeah.
They played Let It Snow during the break between the third and the fourth quarter. The whole stadium was singing. God damn it, this was a fun game to watch. 32-29.
And Tua didn't collapse in the snow.
No, he didn't. He looked good.
His accuracy was down a little bit. It was in the low 60s, which is less. That's way he's usually pretty accurate, but you're going to expect there's going to be some degradation, I guess. And 2 drop passes, so you can't fucking blame that on him either. I mean,
right.
All in all, it was a pretty good performance from him.
It was, and I think if you're a Dolphins fan, you got to be pretty stoked. I know they're 8-6 now,
yeah,
but they're going to get in the playoffs.
They'll win.
This team is fucking good.
Yeah, they'll win at least 9 because their last 2 games or the last 3 games are Packers, Patriots, and Jets. They're not losing to the Patriots or Jets, I don't think.
I don't think so either. And I think if you're a Dolphins fan, you got to be amped about this. It was 12 and snowing and all that shit, and they look fine.
Well, they've lost 3 in a row, so I don't know if they're amped about that. But it's 3 tough.
No, but who was it? It was San Francisco,
the
Bills
at the Chargers too, which is a tough game.
And I mean, look, I've been saying this all along. We've been down to 6 teams. All 3 of those teams are in that 6 that I mentioned for the last few weeks. Like, yes, you're going to lose those games.
And also, Josh Allen played out of his mind.
He did. He has to though.
Yeah,
because they don't really have a running back. He had 4 touchdowns again, this fucking guy, and he seems to find a way. I just don't know that it would be good enough to win a Super Bowl, which sucks because it would be a blast.
Well, I don't know. They got
go up there for the AFC Championship to Buffalo.
Yeah. But they've got Cole Beasley back now, so I think they're pretty much a lock for the Super Bowl.
Yes. Next up was the Eagles at the Bears. Look, with this one, Eagles are 13-1. I am also 13-1 on the Eagles this year. I have bet all 14 games that the Eagles have played. I have taken them with a teaser. The only game that I lost was the Commanders game. The Commanders played a perfect game in that to win that game. With the Eagles, though, he pulls it out in the end. I was unaware that he got hurt. Delco, what quarter did he get hurt in? Do you know?
I don't know, like the second quarter.
Okay. Because he had pretty decent numbers, but then he had a couple picks toward the end that got the Bears back into this game. This is way closer than the score indicates.
And I still haven't seen anything publicly about a collarbone issue.
I haven't either. They said a shoulder that'll probably take him out for 2 or 3 games, but
just sprained shoulder. They were talking about him playing this week.
Well, he said he wants to play this week.
He gains nothing. One, this would be their second game against the Cowboys, and they would probably win it if he plays. Even though, I mean, But rest, dude. You're not going to beat a team 3 times, and there's a decent chance you're going to meet up with them again in the fucking playoffs.
No need.
If
sit it out, friend.
Your coach has got to fucking keep you out of this game, no matter what you say.
That's what I think. But even the coach was like, "Well, he wants to play. He's a gamer." And I'm like, "What's your fucking job? To bench him and make sure that he doesn't play in this game."
That's a fucking.
It's meaningless.
That's a New York Mets move right there.
Yeah.
That's a fucking. That's Johan Santana in his first start of the season or second start of the season, throwing 135 pitches just to get a no hitter, and then he's out. Yeah. Nobody gives a fuck about the regular season.
Doesn't want to lose his job.
Who?
To injury. Jalen Hurts.
Well,
yeah, I mean that mustache is creeping on him. Yeah.
Hey, you look at this right here.
Get the fuck out of here.
Some people say I fucking saw this happening, which I did.
Gardner Minshew could come in and throw for 9,000 yards and 100 touchdowns in this game, and Jalen Hurts would still be the starting quarterback.
I think not only because we'll
That'd
get to
impressive.
that. I'm not only am I going to money line the Eagles this weekend, but I'm looking at those. Minshew, I think, is going to go for over 300 this weekend. I guarantee it. Saturday, Christmas Eve, Leach just died. This is it. This is the Favre shit on the Monday night, dude. He's going for 300.
How many times he's thrown 300 yards in a game?
Tons.
No.
Look at his fucking numbers.
His numbers are good when it comes to turnovers, but like yard-wise, no. He in Jacksonville, I don't think he barely ever threw for over 300 yards.
Well, but who do you have in Jacksonville? I mean, now he's got A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith. I mean,
he's good for 195 yards.
He's going to go for 300 yards, or you shave your fucking head next week. Minshew goes for 300.
I just shaved
in this
head.
game, all the way, clean, bald. I want a coat of turtle wax on it.
No, I'm good.
I want you to be a full fucking white supremacist, dude.
He's thrown for 300 yards in 5 of the 30 professional games he's played in.
Yeah, but it's in Jacksonville. I can't. They've never had anybody. They still don't have any receivers. Still to this day.
He's saying that's what he's done.
Yeah, but I mean, who did he have there? Like, there is no wide receivers down there at all. You give him A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith. They beat the fucking Cowboys at home, and he goes for 300 this weekend.
Let's see. He was throwing to DJ Shark.
And
DJ
Shark.
D.D. Westbrook, James O'Shaughnessy, which sounds like a fucking alcoholic beverage.
Yeah. Pass me an O'Shaughnessy, will you? Do you have a bottle of O'Shaughnessy, sir?
But not a good alcoholic beverage.
No, it's like it's an off-label fucking.
Off-brands.
Oh man,
off-brands.
Don't drink that stuff.
Yeah, don't drink the O'Shaughnessy. It's in a fucking plastic jug.
Yeah, it's in a plastic jug, and it's $12 for a fucking handle that shit.
It's a plastic pint at a gas station where you can actually buy liquor, like in a state where you can do that.
We're going to see Minshew in a Corvette this weekend, and I have a feeling he's going to take it for a spin and not bring back the keys.
Where's the game?
The game is in it's here. If it wasn't Christmas Eve, we would go. If it wasn't on Christmas Eve and I had children, we would go to this fucking game.
If I was the Cowboys, I would have fun with it. I would have jean shorts day at the stadium.
Oh, George Day? Yeah.
Like you get fucking one free drink or something.
I should get it. If I showed up with this, I'd get a fucking free drink.
Well, maybe you get one free drink if you do the entire ensemble.
Yeah.
And it's just to fuck with Gardner Minshew.
And
just to try to get in his head. You'll have like 6,000 of him
Yep.
sitting around. I mean, that would be pretty fucking funny.
If Minshew ends up being the starter and Hurts continues to be hurt or something else happens to him, I will switch my pick and my money will go on the Eagles and not on the 49ers to go to the Super Bowl
if you were a fucking, let's say you were, who's in the fucking Browns division? Well,
look at what Brock Purdy's doing in the
forget
49ers.
about it. I'm talking about trolling players. If you're a divisional opponent of Deshaun Watson, you don't do some kind of weird
massage thing?
Like, come on, man.
Yeah, after you score a touchdown?
Yeah, like you just no, not even on the field. I'm talking about the team. And
okay.
Like it's towel day all of a sudden, but it's a massage towel or some shit. I don't know. Or you just like instead of having benches, it's all massage tables on their side of the field.
That'd be great.
That would be really fucking. Why can you not do this stuff? This is a fucking game.
The NFL doesn't like
fun.
entertainment, man.
No, they don't.
By the way, we're brought to you by MyBookie.com. Promo code Drinkin Bros doubles your first deposit all the way up to $1,000. Get off the couch and into the action today. Bet with us or against us at MyBookie.com. Promo code Drinkin Bros doubles your first deposit up to $1,000. All the NFL games and spreads we read today are from MyBookie. And if you want to go to any of these games, go to drinkinbrostickets.com. They're about $10 cheaper than StubHub. We'll gun through the rest of these. Lions continued to roll. That was great. Falcons Saints, did that game exist? Probably not. I didn't see it, hear about it, or watch one single down of it. Steelers Panthers, same thing. Didn't know that game existed. Steelers, though, are quietly 6-8. and that's shocking to me because I don't even know who their fucking quarterback is. Is it Trubisky?
Sure.
I think so, right?
Why not?
Yeah,
I think actually he's hurt.
Is he?
Yeah. Maybe they're bringing Mason Rudolph back.
Rudolph.
Isn't Kenny Pickett?
Oh, no, yeah, Trubisky's probably going
yeah.
to start. No, Pickett's questionable right now.
Pickett's questionable. Yeah. Cowboys, Jaguars, fucking great game. Talked about this last week. Jaguars on the come up. If they end up sneaking into the playoffs somehow, it would not be sweet. Trevor Lawrence, 318, 4 touchdowns in this game.
Yeah.
ATN, 19 carries, 103 yards. They're putting it together if they can get some receivers there.
Yeah, they're one or two pieces away there. And, it wasn't
Doug Peterson, man. We said at the beginning of the year, great coach.
There was kind of a lucky pick at the end. Not lucky, but, right place, right time pick at the end of the game there that I guess secured the win. But it was the series for Dallas before that, their last series, that 3-and-out before regulation.
Yep.
Where on 3rd and 10, Brown goes down the left side, and he's open for a first down, and Dak throws the ball like 10 feet over his head.
Yep.
There was some pressure, but not enough. Nobody hit his arm or anything. He just fucking overthrew the ball for no apparent reason. In Jacksonville, by the way, where there's plenty of humidity and no cold.
Yep.
Like that's the kind of thing that happens. Aaron Rodgers doesn't miss that pass ever.
No.
Not once in his career has he done something like that in a moment like that, and that's why I don't think the Dallas Cowboys can ever win a Super Bowl with Dak.
I don't either, and I think this whole division is fucking weak, and I think the Eagles will run it. Next up was Chiefs-Texans. Jack, this spread up to plus 21.5 for the Texans. Same thing. Almost every single game, I said what was going to happen.
There was no way the Chiefs were taking this seriously.
They didn't take it seriously, and again, they were so fucking lazy, dude. And towards the end of the game, you could see Mahomes look up and be like, "Oh shit, are we tied? All right, let's go down and try to kick a field goal. All right, is it overtime? All right, fine, let's just go win the fucking game." Same thing we said last week, dude. And if you look at his numbers, they're disgusting. Like, he's probably the MVP. 36 of 41 for 336 and 2 touchdowns. This guy, like, it's nuts.
It's pretty wild. Bob, can you get
5 incompletions on 41 passes?
Can you get on Twitter and find a video of just Patrick Mahomes walking, because he walks like somebody that has a handicap.
Yeah, it's weird. He's got a hitch in his giddy up.
When you see him walk, when he breaks from the huddle and it's a shotgun formation, you can't really tell. But when he breaks formation and it's like an eye or something like that, or he's under center, it's like, why are you walking like that? Is something wrong with your back? He looks like, remember Freddie Freeman does that shit too when he celebrates. He always like arches his back straight up in the air, and it looks like something's wrong with him.
It might be that something is actually wrong. Like,
he might have a butt plug in or something.
Maybe.
I mean, he's got a pretty decent dump truck, so maybe it's that.
Maybe
it's for TikTok. Maybe he's trying to show off his butt.
But with Hurts out, I think Mahomes is probably the MVP now. 36 of 41. This was it's nuts. The guy is fucking nuts, man. I'm just jealous. Like, it's just a generational talent that you're like, God damn it.
We're already spoiled by him.
Yes.
Like,
we are already, you're right. We are.
What's it going to take
we
for
already
people
take
to
him
remember?
For granted, and he's 25.
What's it going to take for people to remember how great he is? You know
7. I think it's going to take like 6 or 7 Super Bowls out of that guy.
In the modern era of NFL, there's no fucking way.
But the problem is they're going to compare him to Brady, and that's what sucks. And it's to Bob's credit, like that's exactly what it is. We take him for granted at 25 years old.
I know. What if he's just Aaron Rodgers?
I know. Won early, and then that's it.
That would be...
When did Aaron Rodgers begin starting?
Shocking.
2009, I think?
I think he was 25. I think he was
won,
25 years old.
And they won in, 2011, right? The Packers? That was
I think it was the
Super Bowl?
2010 season, 2011 Super
Bowl. Yeah. Man, I think for him to...
Yeah, but he's in Kansas City where they actually spend money. I mean, they've signed fucking free agents every single year in the offseason and during the season as well. I don't think he's going to... I mean... You got to blame Green Bay for some of that.
Yeah, and even with the draft decisions that the Chiefs have made with like Clyde Edwards-Helaire, like that was a great pick. It was the last pick of the first round. I didn't know he was going to be shitty. They didn't know he was going to be shitty.
Polio Mahomes, scoliosis Mahomes.
I like Polio Mahomes a lot.
It's not bad.
Next up, Cardinals-Broncos. I guess this was a game that happened in the NFL. Didn't watch it.
This might be the worst NFL game of all time.
Didn't watch it.
You know what I mean? Just like
didn't bet on it.
What's this guy's name? Ripon?
Yeah. It's that kid's son, the quarterback for the Redskins back in the day. It's his son.
One of the Bills killers.
Yeah, one of the Bills killers.
Wait, did he actually kill somebody on the Buffalo Bills?
No,
OJ,
but he was.
yeah.
He was
He's
one
getting
of the-
OJ back. He's like, fuck you.
Yeah.
No, he beat Kelly for one of those 4 losses in a row in the Super Bowl.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
But yeah, I say this all the time on the show. With these shitty games, if I don't gamble on it, I don't watch it, I don't even know it existed. I couldn't even tell you what happened in this game. And I'm going to look in the stats now. Ripping 21 of 26, you would say, all right, that's great. But he had 197 yards.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened in this, and I don't care. Both these teams suck. They're not going to the playoffs. I have zero time for this. Patriots versus the Raiders. Now, this one they actually switched over to from our 4 o'clock games here and cut into this. And I still couldn't figure out what happened.
Well, I mean, maybe you can find
The
it on.
camera, no, it was not that. The camera angle, when that pass went backwards, they thought the game was over, and then it was the announcer who tipped it off who said, "Oh my God." And then they finally found the guy running down the field. But we didn't get to see that pass in real time. That went backwards for that lateral, and I had to see it on the replay after that.
Yeah, that's what you might call an unforced error.
Boy.
Like there was literally no reason, and somebody almost did it. And who was it? In the fucking
Yes, I watched it 2 nights later. It was Commanders. Was it the Commanders Giants game?
I think it was.
Yes.
Yeah, it was the night game.
Yeah.
The Sunday night game.
And the guy intercepted it, and he started chucking it back, and it was like
what
no,
are you
no,
doing,
no.
dude?
There's no need
Just-
for any of this.
just go down.
I think McAfee posted it, and he goes, laterals are fun this year, huh? And I was like, stop doing them altogether.
I mean, honestly, that probably cost him the game because in overtime, Patriots Raiders probably taking the Patriots in that. Right?
Probably, yeah.
Just because
Yep.
of game planning and
Yep.
all the other stuff. They don't make big mistakes, and the Raiders make a lot of mistakes.
Yeah.
I mean, man, and fucking Ramondre Stevenson lit the Raiders the fuck up.
172 yards rushing
That dude's legit.
on 19 carries.
Yeah, he's legit. I like that guy.
Shit. They just don't have anything else on that
No,
team.
Mac Jones was 13 for 31.
He's terrible. They don't have any receivers. They have nothing on this team.
Well,
It's wild. They have a great defense. They have a great defense. Patriots have a great defense. Next up, Titans, Chargers. Look, we picked the Chargers in this one. It was -3. This was a push on the weekend. No big deal. I don't know. I don't know what to think about either of these teams. Like, you give Herbert the benefit of the doubt here, but neither of these teams are winning a Super Bowl, so who gives a shit? Next up is Bengals versus the Buccaneers. This one had me nervous, all right? I had a fuck ton of money on the Bengals this weekend. A fuck ton. It was only 3. That was the spread for this game. It was only fucking 3. It was 17-0 at one point, and then the Bengals got lucky and got the ball back and kicked a field goal with no time left at halftime. It was 17-3, and then Joe Burrow pulled out his dick, exactly like we said last week, and drove Tom Brady into the ground and scored 31 points in the second half. And said, fuck you.
He's like fucking. He gets off on this shit. It reminds me the way he plows through every great quarterback in the NFL right now reminds me of like Jordan in 89-90, right when he made that turn and started winning those
God damn it,
championships.
dude. I love watching this motherfucker play. And it's
like
the Bengals are now 10-4, and it would not surprise me if they went to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and it's not like he's getting a ton of help either. I mean, their running game has been mediocre this year. Like Joe Mixon is a great running back, or not a great. He's a really good running back, but the performance has been relatively mediocre this year.
And
I mean,
they're
Jamar
mixing it
Chase
up.
is great.
Yeah, he's great. But they're mixing it up between him and P. Ryan. They don't have a superstar at running back. Maybe they get one in this next draft. But either way, God damn, the AFC, dude, with these quarterbacks. I mean, it is Burrow, Mahomes, Josh Allen, Herbert. Like, fuck. They're
Tua.
stacked. Tua. I mean, the Dolphins are a great team. After watching that Bills game, I'm in. He just needs to stay alive.
And by the way, Brady looked really good in this game.
He did.
You just can't like throw your way out of it forever.
No.
You know what I mean?
Because Fournette had 44 fucking yards in this game, and you're like, all right, well, that's not going to do it. If you can't run the ball, you're not going to do shit.
And their offensive line is, I mean, it's not that they're bad. It's just everybody's hurt. Jensen's been out all year. Our buddy Ryan Jensen, the center.
he's coming back, and they're still – look, they're going to get a playoff slot. The rest of this division is – you could blow it up. You could blow up this whole goddamn division.
There's a sick part of me that wants Tampa Bay to fucking cruise through the playoffs and win a Super Bowl, to be honest.
I'm telling you, dude, under 500. This is Brady's last like thing he can accomplish. Like he just cuts his own foot off and then wins a fucking Super Bowl.
Hang on. I still think there's a shot of Brady to go to the 49ers in the offseason. And
maybe
and
after
he wins 2 more there.
He could, for sure.
That's all they need.
I was just looking at this, and there's literally, in the entire NFC, 3 good quarterbacks.
5.
NFC?
Oh, the NFC. I'm sorry. There isn't any. Like,
you've got Jalen Hurts on the Eagles.
But we still,
so you got 2 quarterbacks.
We don't know if he's a system quarterback yet. Wait till Gardner gets on Saturday. You'll have your answer. If they end up stopping the Cowboys, dead serious. If they end up stopping the Cowboys, is it a Brock Purdy 49ers situation?
Here's the thing, though. I'll still put it on there because this is it. Jalen Hurts, Brady, and then what was the other one? Oh, Aaron Rodgers. So you got one dude who is mentally checked out of just
life.
Earth.
Yeah. He's 30, but he's also 38.
Right.
Yeah. One guy who's 45.
By the way, the other guy in fucking the AFC is Trevor Lawrence.
Oh, right? Yeah, shit.
Oh, the AFC is
Jesus Christ.
The AFC is Josh Allen, Tua, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Deshaun Watson, fucking Trevor Lawrence,
Patrick Mahomes,
Pat Mahomes, and Herbert.
It's
and again, I think we'll have our answer on the system. Everybody that debate on the Eagles system on Saturday. You'll know whether or not that's the truth. It certainly is for the 49ers, and it's Brock Purdy, dude.
And by the way, Deshaun Watson also, if he even comes back to anything close to what he was before.
Yes.
That's all the AFC. And the NFC, you've got Rodgers, who's getting ready to leave, Goff, who's been middling his entire career. I mean, Geno Smith's had a little bit of a resurgence, but come on, man. And
if
then
you're even
then you have
the name Geno
I know.
I can't even throw Geno Smith.
But the only
Geno is good.
The only true like outstanding performers are Hurts, Rodgers, and Cousins, right? I mean, none of these other guys are really.
We finally saw Geno Smith against a good defense. I guess Geno came down to earth.
I'm not saying Geno's bad. I'm saying you're in a bad spot if you're like, dude, Geno's one of the top 5 quarterbacks.
Geno was also not bad against the number 1 defense in the NFL.
You know, Geno Smith has the 2nd highest quarterback rating in the NFL, right?
Yeah,
currently
he's good.
Yeah,
I'm just saying
you're allowed to have a resurgence.
I'm not
you
saying
can
he's
be
bad.
good in your 30s.
He's got 26 touchdowns and 8 picks on the year.
I'm not saying he's bad. I'm saying it's a shallow pool if he's cracking the top 5.
Yeah,
there's only one person throwing for more than 300 yards a game, and it's Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah,
so
that's it.
Like if you look at the stat, there's a bunch of decent performing quarterbacks this year. I mean, there's only 6 people with 100 or more rating. That's pretty. That's some. There's years like this. That's like people batting 300 in baseball. But
also, Justin Fields is going to be good.
Yeah, Justin Fields is another one's going to be good. But
if he doesn't get killed,
it doesn't matter how good he is. If the Bears play it like they played the last forever for that entire franchise, then he's never going to be really good.
Yeah,
right?
and I don't know if he stays alive. I mean, but yeah, with Geno Smith, he finally again against a good defense, 238 yards. He had 20 yards more passing than Brock Purdy, which is just. Brock Purdy, I can't even fucking believe it. I can't even fucking believe he's actually in the NFL and a starter who's winning multiple games. It's wild to me. Same with this next game with Danny Dimes. They won again, and the Giants are 8-5. But like, man, he's just not good. Like watching him play, it just seems like a guy who just keeps lucking out a little bit, and you're like, man, when are you going to get hit by that bus?
But that's the Giants, right? They kind of fucking hold their breath and hope for that. Eli Manning had 3 good seasons, 2 of which they won the Super Bowl in. And he's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer because of it. I mean,
he doesn't turn the ball over.
Yeah, that's true, man. But they're not great on. They're really bad on 3rd down.
Terrible. I mean,
it's rough.
And if you look at Daniel Jones had 160 yards passing in this game. That was it. 160 yards, and they won.
He's averaging like almost 6 yards a carry.
Again, but it's Daniel Jones, right? If it was like take Jalen Hurts for example, right? Jalen Hurts running the ball, totally fine. Trust it. You saw it in college. You understand it now. Do you really trust Daniel Jones running the fucking ball for you?
I do. Do I need to show you the Daniel Jones running against the Eagles? He's actually fast.
And for what it's worth,
but he'll never win anything.
There's neither Josh Allen nor Pat Mahomes were big time running dudes in college, and they're both like just because they've upped their game so much, they've both become expert runners in the NFL.
Pat Mahomes doesn't run that much. Josh Allen runs because he has to. Right, they don't have a running back in
Pat Mahomes
Buffalo.
Is an extremely underrated runner.
He's a
brilliant runner.
He could be if he wanted to. He just doesn't.
Well, he's a brilliant mover.
Yes,
and he can. And when he knows he needs to scoot, like look at that run he had against the Titans.
He'll go from right to left, only to throw, and that's what Justin Fields used to do in college. Now you see what Justin Fields has to do in the NFL, which is run every fucking down. And like, I don't know how long that's sustainable, including Josh Allen. Like, I worry if they don't get a running back soon, he's going to get killed as well because he can't keep running the ball like that.
Well, he's a much bigger guy than, I mean, Fields is 6'3", 225 or so, but Josh Allen's a big dude. Danny Dimes is a big dude, too.
Danny Dimes is like 6'5".
Yeah, he's 6'5". He's a big guy. But Fields has already got 1,000 yards rushing this year. It's too many yards.
Never had that at Ohio State. Never.
Yeah.
Like,
he's averaging 77 yards a game, for fuck's sake.
He's running for his life. He's running for fucking freedom out there. Next up was the Rams against the Packers. Won this one as well. Took all of the things in this. It was an amazing way. This run I've been on in the NFL, 4 out of the last 5 weeks, has been just unfucking stoppable. And I hope it continues, man, heading into next week's games. So we'll switch to that. In the meantime, I did bet one this morning because I just wanted to see if my bookie would let me do it. Bob, can you put that up there? This is the lowest under I've ever bet in my entire life in an NFL game. And I couldn't believe they let me do it. Dan, if you look at the top of this bet slip here, so if you bet 4 teams or over-unders or more, just 4, they'll let you do a 13-point teaser. So in this New Orleans Saints-Browns game, the over-under was 31.5. Mm-hmm. With a 13-point teaser, they let me take this over down to 18.5. Now, obviously, there's a time stamp and all that shit, so you can see when I bet it. This is a real bet in an NFL game where the over is 18.5. And I've never seen one in the teens in my entire life.
Well, I mean, you might see more of those as the Browns continue this year because their offense is not.
Am I in trouble with this? Because pop up the rest of it, by the way. Because this will Chiefs. I took it plus 3.5 here to complete this. Bills plus 4, and then Eagles plus 18 in that game against the Cowboys. Although these aren't the rest of my cards, I'll post those. Thursday's the first game? I'll post those then. But I'm taking the Eagles money line as well. I cannot believe an over-under of 18.5 in the NFL. That is a fucking – is that a 9-9 game?
Yeah, that's how math works, yeah. I mean, but last
No,
week,
no, it's not. That's not right. It's a 10-9 game.
It was, to win.
So 18.5.
To lose, yeah.
10-9 game. That's all I need for the over-under in an NFL game.
Well, last week it was 13-3.
I know. They didn't hit.
You know what I mean? So
am I fucked here?
And the Saints have been –
and it is the Browns.
The Saints have been shut out this year, too. Granted, it was against the 49ers. You know, that's a different situation. But the Browns have a really good fucking defense. If the Browns can run the ball –
well, they can run. They got Chubb.
No, I'm just saying if they can run effectively against the Saints and control the clock, there's a chance that they could fucking stay under that. But
if I lose on an 18.5 over in the NFL, I would lose my fucking mind.
Yeah.
But that was the first bet. I usually place the rest of these closer towards. So check back to Drinkin Sports on Facebook. They're all posted there before all the games. So first up on the Thursday night game, I actually enjoy watching Trevor Lawrence progress here. So this is fun. This is Jags versus Jets. This is at the Jets. This spread has been all over the place. And I'm assuming it's because of the starting quarterback of the Jets. So when this line came out 2 days ago, it was an even. Now it is Jets minus 1.5. I know it's a home game. Did Mike White come back? Is that why?
Right now, I don't see him on the injury report.
Okay, so maybe that's why it's switched, because when he's played, he's looked pretty good for those guys.
He wasn't on the GameCast injury report, but he's out.
He's out.
Yeah.
So who's the starter there? Is it Zach Wilson again?
Yes.
All right, so if it's Zach Wilson against Trevor Lawrence, I'm taking Trevor Lawrence. Like that, I don't really understand that.
I mean, the Jets have a better defense in Jacksonville, but Jacksonville's defense has been playing really well, and the Jets have no offense at this point.
And ATN is closing in on 1,000 yards rushing. Mm-hmm. I mean, just the two of them, I'm fine with this.
Yeah.
Are you taking this?
Yeah, this is easy. I mean, look, you can. You're gonna give me. It's right now. It's Jets minus 1.5. You're gonna give me fucking 8.5 for the Jags. Yeah, I'll take that.
Or just give me any points. Like I'll take this. It's Jacksonville money line. It was even 2 days ago. I don't know why it is. I'm gonna take Jacksonville money line in this. I like the Jags. They're fun. They're figuring the fuck out. Wish the Falcons would have hired Doug Peterson, like I said, fucking 2 years ago. But whatever, man.
I'm gonna take this Jaguars plus 8.5 and then under 44 and tease those together.
Okay.
Because they're not scoring 44 points.
Yeah, it's gonna be cold.
To be honest, the Jets may not even score in this game. They're
might not.
so bad.
Zach Wilson sucks.
Zach Wilson. If there's an over/under on Zach Wilson throwing picks, I would take that.
Wasn't he the first pick in the draft?
Yeah. Fourth.
God, he sucks.
Or something. I
He
think
sucks.
he was second.
I think he's second.
God damn, dude. What a waste. What a waste. Next up, we got Bills versus Bears. This is at Chicago. This is -9. I'll always tune into the Bills game. They're fun to watch. And then Justin Fields, look, they're 3-11. I don't know why the Bears don't bench him. Why risk it? Like you said, Dan, he is at 1,000 yards rushing even. Third quarterback in NFL history to rush for that. He never had to do that in college, and he was always throwing. So this is simply for his life at this point. I would sit him if I'm the Bears for the rest of the season.
Especially against the Bills.
Yes,
I mean,
there's no need. There's no need for that.
Like
it's going to be 14 degrees, by the way.
They're
at kickoff.
They're 3-11. You should be angling towards the highest possible draft pick at this point. It's one thing to keep trying while you actually have a chance. They are eliminated.
Yep,
it's over.
There's
over. Nothing to fuck. There are no new schemes or receivers coming in for him to get comfortable with. This isn't a getting reps in situation when the reps you're getting in are potentially going to end your life.
So the other part of this, and I know you talked about this, that there was going to be record cold temperatures during the holidays this year. Watch the weather on all of these games and look at the unders. Now, I took the other one because it's 18.5, and I've never seen that in my entire life in the NFL, and it's fucking hilarious. But with this game, the Bills-Bears, it's 14 degrees at kickoff. Tickets are $17. Now, Bears fans, even if you're a shitty team, always show out. They're not coming for 14 degrees. They're like, I'm all good on Christmas Eve. I'll spend that time with my family.
No, they'll be there.
$17.
There's nothing else to do.
Usually it's, hey, Bob, usually those tickets, even upper decks are like 120. Like 17 is like, oh, fuck. It's 14 degrees. The wind chill in the Midwest, too, is supposed to be brutal.
Well,
these people are used to it.
It's going to suck here.
The coldest I've ever been in my life is walking through downtown Chicago and having the wind come off the fucking river and hit you. Oh, my God, dude. It's bone-chilling cold.
That is the coldest I've ever been was in Chicago. You're correct. So, yeah, I'm going to take this down. I might jack up this over. Well, no, I'm not going to fuck with that. I'm going to take this Bills game down to 2. I've teased them down all year. They've only failed me once. The Bills still have a lot to play for because they want home field advantage, and it's going to fucking matter if they get it in Buffalo. So, yeah, I'm taking the Bills in this one, and I'm going to take that down to -2. Probably a low-scoring game. Josh Allen and Justin Fields will be running a lot. I would not start Justin Fields, Chicago. Just let him be. You got your quarterback for the future. You're all good there. Who are you taking this one?
Same, yeah.
Yeah. Next up, we got the Saints and the Browns. I tipped that hand earlier, so I took this down to 18.5. Now, the over has gone up 1 point. It's at 32.5. There is snow in the forecast now. It's 23 degrees. This is Cleveland -2.5 against the Saints. Do you touch this game?
Fuck no. Watson is he's played 3 games now, and he's getting progressively better in each game. Statistically, he's getting progressively better in each game. So, maybe at some point this season they put it together. I don't know, but I don't know if they're treating it like preseason where he's just getting in reps and trying to get comfortable with the receivers and things like that, and learn the system. And because he only had 3 weeks to play or to practice with the team before he came back in the first place, so he's 6 weeks in now.
Right.
I don't know why else. I don't know. Look, again, there's a 0% chance they're going to win anything in the playoffs, even if they happen to make it by some fluke. What's the point? Like, get a good draft pick. Well, they don't have any draft picks, I guess, but
I agree. I have the under in this on that teaser. That's about it in this one. I don't touch this fucking game.
It's a lot of guaranteed money to be risking for a meaningless last three games of the season.
Sure is, especially when it's 23 degrees and snowing. Next up is Texans versus Titans. This is Tennessee -3.
The over-under is 35.5 in this game.
My God, dude. The Titans have been so disappointing. I can't bet on them anymore. And the Texans usually fucking cover. I don't really know why. They're 1-12-1, but they've covered a fair share of their games this year for being the worst team in the league.
Best one-win team ever?
Yeah, maybe. It might be, and I don't touch it for that reason.
Well, isn't there only one other 1-1 team, that Browns team, before they went 0-16?
Yes. Yeah.
Or did the Lions? Maybe the Lions.
The
did it
Lions
once.
have won one game before they went 0-16.
Yeah. But I don't touch this game, and who cares? I hope. Well, they are going to show it because we're in Texas, but fuck me. I don't care about this game. I'm not going to watch it. I'm not going to bet on it. Next up, we got the Seahawks against the Chiefs. This is a big boy spread. Is Geno Smith out? This is Chiefs -10 here. Or do they just think he's that awful after last week's game?
I don't think he's out.
I don't think so either, right? That's a lot of points.
No, he's not out.
Okay.
I mean, what are the Seahawks against the spread? Let's look that up.
They're pretty decent.
Seahawks against the
I know
spread.
the Chiefs never cover the spread, so I know exactly what I'm doing here. I'm taking the Chiefs -3.
Well, the Seahawks against the spread are 6-8. The Chiefs are 3-10-1.
Yeah.
So if you crank this up to 17, you're probably safe.
You're probably safe there. Or if you crank it down to 3, you're safe there. I've been teasing down the Chiefs and the Eagles every single game this year, and knock on wood, I've done really fucking well with it. So
to be honest,
I'll take this at 3.
You're probably good teasing down the over to 42 as well.
Yeah, because here's the weird thing in the Chiefs, why I have a hard time teasing it up, except for last week. Last week was so many points that I couldn't resist. It was 21.5 for the Texans. But if the Chiefs actually show up and decide to play, they do win by 40. And we just don't know.
But this is a fucking home game against a team they don't give a shit about.
Right. So they probably don't. I mean, they'll win the game, but they probably won't cover. So I'm taking this down, Chiefs -3 in this one. Next up, we got the Giants against the Vikings. This is Vikings -4. You cannot fucking pay me to bet on a Vikings game anymore. My God, dude. I sweated that fucking thing out like I was Rogan in a sauna after 2 hours of jiu-jitsu. I'm not betting the fucking Vikings the rest of the year. And the Giants, who fucking knows, right? Sometimes they show up, sometimes they don't.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Mahomes has, I'm looking at it here, 8 more passing attempts on the season and 700 more yards than Kirk Cousins.
Sure does.
That's an interesting combination. Of
And you know what? Both teams have the same record. How is that possible?
Oh.
How is that possible?
It takes a village.
I guess so.
And the Vikings play in one of the weakest divisions in all of football.
Yeah, they sure do. They sure do. So I'm not touching this. Are you betting this game?
Fuck no.
No. This is...
I don't even want to watch the game. I mean, I like watching Saquon play. I love watching Justin Jefferson play. I mean, look, if it was just like... If I were playing a video game, sometimes I would play with the Vikings because they got a lot of offensive talent. It'd be fun, but this team is... They don't have the win. You know what I mean?
No. It's the Vikings. It's Kirk Cousins every year, so I don't care. And that guy who bitched at us in Drinkin Bros Sports, was just like, I don't want to hear you guys talking shit about Kirk Cousins. Win a fucking play. Like, just go to one Super Bowl.
Honestly, I would not be surprised at all if the Giants fucking win this game.
Yeah, even that guy too who talks shit for Kirk Cousins. It took Matt Ryan was down 33. He was up 33-0. Matt Ryan even went to a Super Bowl. Kirk Cousins still hasn't. So fuck off with that shit. It's still Kirk Cousins. Next one is Bengals versus the Patriots. Bengals -3. Why?
That's a good question.
Why? Why? I'm taking the Bengals. I'm all over that. But I thought this spread, I would have said 7.5 for this, actually. And look, the weather's not a factor. Bengals playing cold weather all the time.
Yeah, I mean, it could be a new or a young quarterback versus Belichick kind of thing. I don't think they've ever met before.
I mean, very rarely you're going to see a 7-point favorite on the road.
Yeah, it's true, because that's really a 10-point favorite.
But the Bengals are really fucking good, and the Patriots are real bad. So
yeah, but the Patriots, they have a narrow path to victory against good teams, but it's still a path. And if they execute correctly and you make some mistakes, they could definitely beat you any given day, right? But that being said, I think maybe by 0.5 point, Cincinnati 2.5 is probably safe.
I'm all over the Bengals. I'm taking the Bengals in this game. Next up, Lions versus the Panthers. This is Lions -2.5 against the Panthers. Why? Lions are on fire. I'm taking the Lions.
I don't know if do the Panthers have a really good defense or some shit.
No, it's Durr's their fucking quarterback.
It's pretty decent.
They're 5-9.
They're middle of the pack in every defensive category.
Yeah, I mean they don't have a superstar anymore.
Have they been playing good defensively lately or something? I don't understand this because
I don't either.
The Lions have, maybe it's a matchup issue. They have Geno put up 30.
But even so, at -2.5, let's say it is a close game, right? Detroit still wins by a field goal and you cover. I'm taking Detroit. I don't really get this spread.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like Carolina.
Lions are on fire. I want to see the Lions go to the playoffs. I want to see the Lions win the fucking Super Bowl. It'd be great. It'd be so fun. It'd be so fun to see. Just one coach turning a team around like it's a goddamn fucking Fox Searchlight film. I mean, it would be the best. Coming off of Hard Knocks.
I mean, it would be really interesting to see Jared Goff's new team win a Super Bowl after his old team just won one.
Fucking hilarious.
After they mortgaged the next 7 years of their franchise for that shit.
He's so fucking funny, dude. Yeah, good. I hope this turns into a Forrest Whitaker sitch where he coaches a team out of a hurricane to victory. It'd be awesome. But I'm all in Lions at this point. I'm riding that train for fucking weeks at this point. I'm not getting off of it. Next up, we got the Falcons against the Ravens.
Don't watch this game. Don't bet on this game. Just pretend it doesn't exist. I mean, this is like if the World Cup final had been Croatia and
Morocco. Yeah, we're all good.
Just don't fucking watch this.
Look, I'm not betting on it. I hope the Falcons lose. I want to get a better draft pick, but yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't know that. Look, you only need everything.
It's true. It's true. We don't need a tight end. We've got a good tight end. Everything else we definitely need.
Jesus Christ.
We need a running back, a quarterback. We traded Ridley, so we need wide receiver. We need everything. Drake London's good. Give me Drake London, Kyle Pitts, and you can blow up the rest of the team.
Wait, I thought Calvin Ridley is just suspended for the year.
He was. They traded him. Oh shit, Jacksonville.
Oh, there we go.
So maybe that's the guy that's.
They'll
totally
still
forgot.
draft the first round.
He's good.
But him, Ridley, and fucking the other guys they have there will do well. Yeah,
shit.
That's something to
I
look forward to.
forgot they traded him because he's out for the year. And it was just like, why did you make this trade? For the Falcons, I understand. But, well, not even. He could come back. Falcons are dumb. Our management is dumb. And the owner's smart. It's Arthur Blank. He fucking invented Home Depot, for Christ's sakes. Can't put a fucking team on the field. Piece of shit. Next up, we got the Commanders at the 49ers. This is San Fran -7.
I don't care about the spread in this game because this could be a 1-point game, to be honest,
I agree.
the way these two teams play.
I agree.
But it's very unlikely the Commanders will win, although they have a narrow path to victory in any given game as well because of how good their defense is. And if they don't turn the ball over, usually they win. But 49ers are the best at getting the ball turned over.
Yep.
And the over of 38 is preposterous to me. That's way too many fucking points.
I agree.
But take it up to 45. There's no way in hell these two teams are putting 45 points on the board.
I'm in the same planet, dude. I drive this up to 45 on the over-under. It's 38 currently. I'm going to take this up 7. I'm going to take San Francisco down to a pick'em. And I'm all set for the day. And 49ers continue to roll. They're 11-4 after this. Not that the Commanders aren't bad. They're just missing some pieces. And, let's face it, Chase Young being out certainly doesn't do them any favors. And their defense is already fucking good.
Yeah, but they need to win this game. I mean, the 49ers are in a good position because they're not there's not a lot of
Their
chance.
division sucks, so yeah, they're fine.
There isn't a whole lot of chance they're going to catch.
They're not catching the Eagles.
The Eagles anyway, so
they're not catching the Eagles. It's too late.
Yeah,
it's too late. But
there's not a whole lot of chance they'll catch the Vikings either because they got some fucking layups at the end of the season.
You never know. Vikings are due to choke it all away. They could be the 2 seed. We'll see. Well, either way, does it matter if the 49ers go to the Vikings? They'll destroy them at home. Who cares? Who cares? Next up, my favorite game of the week. My boy, Gardner Minshew. It's back, baby.
Maybe. We don't know that yet.
He's playing. You're not playing Hurts in this. You're the dumbest fucking coach on the planet if you play Hurts during this. You're up by 3 games for the first seed.
Mm-hmm.
First seed gets a bye. Why would you do that? Why would you do that to your team? That'd be stupid. That'd be dumb.
It would be dumb, but look, people make dumb decisions all the time.
I guess. Either way, I've already bet it. It's already on that fucking card that Bob put up earlier. Look, I've got Eagles. So this, first of all, this is Dallas -5. Over-under is 47 in this game. I have all of the things in this game. I have Eagles money line. I have this game teased up on the 13-point teaser, which Bob showed you. I've got it on a 10-point teaser. I've got it on a 7-point teaser. I've got everything on this game. I've got the fucking over-under on this game. Gardner Minshew, as soon as those stats pop up for the player stats on fucking Saturday morning, I'll be up bright and early, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, over 300 yards passing for Gardner Minshew in this game. I'm betting that as well. You can fucking check it on Drinkin Bros Sports. I will bet all of the things on this game. All of it. Give me Garner. I think it's a fucking system team, and I think he will thrive in this. I'm all in on the Eagles in this game.
It's a lot of words.
Sure is.
But I'll take Eagles plus 12.
Okay.
That's safe.
So let's say Gardner does start.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think the Eagles win this game? What's your thoughts on the Eagles? Is it a system team or not?
No. If they had great running backs, I would say you're probably right about that, but they don't have great running backs.
Miles Sanders is decent. He's got 1,000 yards in the air.
He's just okay.
Yeah,
to be honest.
I agree.
Like the Hurts is a really, really good fucking quarterback, both with his legs and his arm. No, he's not a system quarterback at all.
Okay.
Although they do have a good system, but that doesn't mean you're a system-only quarterback.
Well, we'll find out. I want to know the answer. I want to know the answer for sure.
Well, just because if
I wanted to know the answer about the 49ers, too.
If Minshew comes in and has a great game, that doesn't necessarily mean anything. I mean, the Cowboys are choke artists as well, aren't they?
They're 10-4.
They're the most inconsistent team in football.
10-4. There's a lot of people out there who are saying this division is the best in football. I'm not one of them. I think it sucks besides the Eagles.
Well, they have the two divisions. They played the NFC North this year, and then they played the AFC South, which are two of the worst divisions of football.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, when they do play other teams that are good in other areas, they do perform pretty well still, right? I mean,
do you know what a mental mindfuck this would be if the Eagles started Garner, went in and beat the Cowboys at home on Christmas Eve in a game that everybody's going to be watching? You know what the ratings are going to be for this game? Fucking banana dick. We're all going to be home watching this game.
Yep.
And if the Eagles stomp them with a backup quarterback who should be the starter,
it would be really fucking
It would
funny.
be the funniest Christmas gift of all time the night before.
Well, it's going to be a totally
Holy
different
shit.
game plan. Like, if you think we're running the same fucking offense, you're out of your mind.
I think he airs it out.
Yeah, it's going to be more of an air raid.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think he goes for 300 with those receivers.
Probably 225.
No. Gardner will go for 300 with those receivers. Those guys are fucking good, man. Really. I mean, that's two of the best there is. I mean, besides the only people I would put ahead of them is probably the Dolphins with Waddle and Hill.
Yeah. Isn't Goddard back this week?
Goddard is back, dude. He's back. So now they got three.
You got your fucking check down guy.
I mean, you got
too.
everybody there.
It's gonna Dallas has
even if he dumps off to Sanders.
Yeah.
I mean, there's teams with probably better receiving cores than us.
Who besides the Dolphins? I can't think of them.
I mean, I don't even think we're the best receiving core in the division.
Who else?
Like top to bottom, I would probably take the Commanders.
Scary Terry and who else is on the team?
Curtis Samuel.
And
there's not enough sample size for
the
Curtis
third option
Samuel to
is,
me. I love Curtis Samuel. He's an Ohio State guy. So is Scary Terry. But there's not enough sample size for Curtis Samuel to me, whereas there is for
you got Dotson as a 3.
Yeah, Jahan Dotson from Penn State really over the last 2 weeks. Holy shit. I mean, he looks like he's – the Commanders are honestly – like I like Taylor Heineke. He's doing a really good job. But if they were able to get a premier quarterback, this team would be – it wouldn't be the old fucking Commanders or the old Redskins teams where they have a guy who just fucking protects the ball and moves it down the field. They would be like – Brian Robinson is really good.
Yes.
He's a really good fucking running back.
Yep.
It's Scary Terry, Dotson, and Curtis Samuel. They're all really good. They're a tight end and a fucking quarterback away from being a top level, like a top 5 offense in football. It's fucking crazy to say that.
Well, let me ask you this.
Because the Redskins have never been a great offensive team.
Right. But with those 3 receivers, who is it then? Is it the coach or the quarterback? That either they don't trust the quarterback to throw to all of those guys, or the coach. I mean,
it's Heineke. But, I mean, also, let's not sleep on the Bengals as well. I mean,
Jamar Chase.
T. Higgins.
T. Higgins is pretty good.
Tyler Boyd's
pretty good.
But I don't know that there is a bet. I mean, if Dotson,
but as far as the top two, I mean, I would take the Dolphins ones over them, and that's about it.
I don't know. We'll see next year with if the Jaguars sign or draft Quentin Johnson and they have Calvin Ridley now. That's a whole other fucking situation.
And Christian Kirk is your fucking third.
And the Bills have a shit ton of receivers.
Well, they got Stephon Diggs, right? But they had to sign Cole Beasley.
They got Gabe Davis.
What happened to him? So the last few weeks, he's been invisible on this team, and I can't figure it out. He seems like a deep threat guy. Look, his numbers speak otherwise because he'll catch 3 balls a game, but they're like for 60 yards apiece. He's a great deep threat, but he's not a real consistent guy that they're going to week in and week out, and I don't get it because I like him too. I think he's a good receiver.
Yeah, the last few games, 56 yards, 31, 15.
So, because obviously we play a ton of fantasy football. The championships are going on, and everybody's losing their league because of Gabe Davis, and I keep hearing the bitching about it. And it's like, hey, dude, I don't really know because the Bills keep winning, so nobody's bitching about it either because nobody gives a shit about fantasy, which, an NFL team shouldn't. But it's strange how he's just disappeared the last 4 or 5 weeks. Diggs is always there, but it's odd. Either way, I'm taking the Eagles and all these things, and this is my favorite game of the weekend. I love it, and I can't wait to watch it. Unlike the next game, I will not watch this. I'll be watching A Christmas Story on TNT with my wife as we wrap gifts and put them under the tree. This is the Raiders against the Steelers. This is 2 6-8 teams, and the Steelers. Oh boy, they're actually favored in this. Minus 2.5.
Wouldn't it be great? Wouldn't it be great for the Steelers just to bury the Raiders for the rest of the year? Like the one of the shittiest teams out there, offensively, anyways.
Oh, one of these teams is going to go to 7-8. Their fan base is going to be like, "We have hope. We can do it. We can win. We can win it all."
I'm not watching or betting on this.
One of them will be 7-8. Who do you hope more? I hope more for the Raiders that they win. I'm not going to bet this or watch it.
I don't like. I actually do, and I like the Raiders. So I want them to lose, so they'll fucking send Derek Carr, whatever the fuck his name is, somewhere else.
Okay,
that's what I want because they've got time's running out on Josh Jacobs. I know he's 26, maybe for his prime years, he's entering his prime years right now. You only got a couple more years of that left, and you got the best receiver in all of football. You got to do something now, dude.
He has 1,500 yards rushing already.
But you got to do something now. You've got to fucking make moves and win now. Otherwise, you're wasting these people.
Yeah. Next up, we got the Christmas games. This is a full slate, which is fucking awesome. This is gonna just absolutely buttfuck the NBA. Mm-hmm. This is usually the NBA's day. I'm surprised. We talked about this a few weeks ago. I'm surprised that they usually don't do this, but Roger Goodell just said "fuck you" in the NBA because everybody's going to watch football. Nobody's going to watch his NBA games.
Right.
No, especially now that
fall on Sunday though.
Now that Steph Curry's out, like one of the bigger games.
Yeah, dude, it's nuked. Nobody gives a shit. And everybody gambles on football. Nobody gambles on the NBA. Mm-hmm. That's why we never cover it on any of these shows. It's junky shit.
By the way, the Raiders have the best running back in football and Devontae Adams, and they're 6-8.
And you could argue that Devontae Adams might be the best wide receiver in football.
Statistically, he's not, but he might be the best, yeah.
His stats are pretty good too, though, man.
He's 4th in yards, but you can't throw the ball to yourself, can you?
Speaking of which, it's Aaron Rodgers against the Dolphins. That's the noon game. I'll watch it. I'll bet on it.
This is a pretty interesting game.
It is, and it's the spread is interesting. It's Dolphins -4. Mm-hmm. I would have thought this was higher.
No, the Packers' defense is pretty good. I mean, they have a little bit of trouble in the secondary sometimes, which could become a problem here. But their linebackers are pretty good. They have a good run defense. They're going to try to get to Tua, which who knows how long that brain can last.
Yeah, but I'm Dolphins all the way in this game.
I mean,
all the way. -4.
The Packers +11 is not unattractive.
It's not terrible, but I think that the Dolphins win by a touchdown easily.
Maybe
tickets are expensive for this game on Christmas too.
Well, it's Miami doesn't really do Christmas.
I guess not.
Like there's no snow, there's no trees out. They put fucking lights on palm trees.
Last row in this fucking game is $129. That's surprising. Let's face it, Miami doesn't have any fans for anything. including college.
That's
but
so
yeah,
true. There's a lot of Dolphin fans.
Yeah, there's a lot of Dolphin
They
fans.
don't live in Miami, but
no,
there's a lot of
everywhere
Dolphin
else.
fans.
It's people who like the fucking outfit, as they call it.
you think they liked it Ace Ventura, and they were just like, "Hey, dude, I'm a big fan."
Maybe.
Yeah,
I mean,
Good colors.
I guess.
But they're a little bit more northern. I mean, it's still South Florida, but they don't live in Miami.
big rate.
No, and that stadium, by the way, is far away from South Beach. I made that mistake a couple years ago at the national championship, and I paid dearly in that traffic up there. Fuck me.
We should get.
We stayed in. I'll put it this way: the last gig we did, we stayed in Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah.
That's how close it was to this stadium versus South Beach.
because
Well, Fort Lauderdale's
Lauderdale's
20 minutes away.
Yeah.
It's also better than Miami. Miami
Yeah, it's way better.
sucks.
Miami does
sucks.
suck. We have a Ray Finkel jersey around here somewhere.
I've got it in my house.
Oh.
Yeah,
That's
I
it.
took
Did we
it
get
home.
it?
Once we didn't hang it, I took
Yeah.
it back to my house. It's safe. I keep the good ones safe, so it's safe there. But yeah, Finkel is Einhard. Dolphins -4.
Wait, this is the noon game, so the competition for this in the NBA is going to be they're offset a little bit. So the first game in the NBA is the 76ers and Knicks at 11 a.m. So it'll be getting close to over by the time that game happens. And then 1:30.
halftime.
1:30 is the Lakers and Mavericks. Anthony Street Clothes Davis out again.
No way.
Yeah, he's out.
And then Steph Curry's out for the other game.
Steph Curry's out for the Warriors Grizzly. I don't know. Is John Morant healthy right now? I thought he was hurt too.
He's back. He's playing.
He's back.
Yeah.
The Suns just got purchased, so they're fine.
Warriors, by the way, 15 and 17.
Yep. A bunch of injuries on that team. Draymond Green looks old too. By the way, I think it's time to just dump that fucking guy. Move on with your life.
He's
Yes.
he's actually having a pretty good year. He's having an exceptional year for him.
I'm all good on Draymond Green there, but look, the NFL ratings have been through the roof. I said this yesterday. It's sports gambling, and everybody gambles on the NFL. They will smash the NBA. It's a bad. It's a bad one for the NBA. This is their.
Well, there's nothing they can do about it.
I know.
People gamble in the NBA.
Do you know him?
I do.
And are they missing teeth?
It's me.
Yeah. Yes. You're you're the guy.
The Sun. There's two good games though. 4 p.m. Bucks and Celtics are playing. Who's the NFL game at 4?
When I talked about legalized gambling yesterday, and you were like, "A motherfucker, I gamble." Yes, dude, we know. In Delco, dude, there's probably a bookie every other fucking house.
I think it's.
That's how he got into hard money. He's a bookie.
Yeah.
It's Delco,
Were you a bookie at one point?
No, but Delco has the most bookies per square mileage or something.
Yeah, dude. I did not grow up in any of that
Of course they
shit.
do. So the 4 p.m. NBA game is Bucks Celtics. That's a good game, but they're going up against Broncos Rams, which is not a good game.
No, dude.
So you think the NBA did that on purpose? I don't. Well, actually, the NBA's games were scheduled back in September. They released those in September.
Yeah,
so,
these are all in advance.
So
but so is the NFL.
But the NFL didn't know that the Broncos and Rams were going to suck this bad.
I know.
So this could have been really bad for the NBA. It's only not that good.
Because on paper, by the way, when they set this matchup, this was
it could have been a good one. Yeah,
this was the defending Super Bowl champions against Russell Wilson. So I know that production meeting where you're sitting there going, "All right, then Russ is going to cook."
Then the night game, 7:20 NFL game is the next one. Are Buccaneers Cardinals, which is a terrible, terrible game, and they're going to be going up against the Grizzlies and Warriors, which even without Steph, getting to watch John Morant primetime is a good game.
Yeah, but you get to see Trace McSorley for the Cardinals.
That's true. Yeah,
Is
for
he
the first
starting?
time,
Yeah.
first start.
Wow, good for him.
He got drafted in 2019 or some shit.
With the Ravens. He started a game or two with the Ravens.
Are you sure? I thought this was his first start.
No, first start with the Cardinals.
Yeah, for the Cardinals. He's played before. With this Broncos-Rams game, it's Broncos -2.5. I'm not touching that. Are you?
No. I mean,
Is this Baker Mayfield against who's the backup quarterback for Broncos?
who the fuck knows?
I don't know.
Rippin.
Yeah, right.
Oh,
yeah,
God.
Rippin.
No. Not
Even
betting on that.
30.
Buccaneers have not. They've lost, what, 4 games in a row? I don't even trust them against
3.
Trace
at least.
McSorley.
2 in a row. They won that game against the Saints 17-16, but it would have been.
Oh,
4
that's
in a row.
right. Brady came back in the end. Yeah.
Yeah, McSorley's a fucking wild card, man.
Yeah, I don't bet that game either. So it's Tampa -7.5 on the road. Who fucking knows, dude?
Trace McSorley's career completion percentage is 46.2.
But for his entire career?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, look, it's limited. It's only 39 attempts.
Well,
So-
that's still not great.
I mean, his rushing average is 4.7 yards per carry. That's what he's better at. That's
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
That's all he did at Penn State was
Sure
fucking
is.
run for first downs every now and again.
Yeah. Last up is the Monday night game here. Chargers, Colts. Chargers minus 4.5 against Big Dick Nick. Who you got in this one?
I mean, if you had asked me before Nick Foles was made the starter, I would have told you take this Chargers all the way. But
yep.
I don't know now.
I don't either.
I don't know. I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait and see what happens on the weekend. But I'm still leaning towards Chargers minus 4.5, to be honest.
I am too. But check back in Drinkin Bros Sports on Facebook. All the bets will be posted there. And check back on this one. It's Monday. There's nothing going on either. I'll probably bet it. Like, let's face it, I'll bet this game. So check in. Just check in Drinkin Bros Sports on Facebook. I'll bet this game. It'll be nasty. I'll take the over-under up to 50. I'll tell you now what I'm going to do. Fuck it. I'm going to take this the other way, cross to 0. Chargers minus, Chargers plus 3. And then over-under, we'll drive that up to 53. And I'm going to take the under in that game.
Yeah, there's no fucking way that this will be a high-scoring game.
No.
You wouldn't think.
But that's probably what I'll end up doing. But, again, check back. But there is some fun games this week, and I'm amped about it. So let's fucking go. And it's Christmas Eve. Christmas. Usually there's no fucking football on whatsoever, and we have a ton of it this year. So it'll be fun. Eagles-Cowboys game. God damn it. I can't wait for that. If it wasn't Christmas Eve, we would go. This would be a blast.
Herbert is second in passing yards this year and then 12th in touchdowns. They got to get some fucking receivers down there.
They were out all year, so they're back now. Williams was out half the season, and then so was Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen, I think, is on his second game back, but he's also like 30-something now. So it's like, yeah, they got to get some people there. Herbert's great. They just got to get some talent around him. I think the Chargers will be fine in the long run. Their defense is really fucking good. They've had a lot of injuries this year, too. Thanks for tuning in, kids. Go to iTunes, rate the show 5-star, and leave a quick review. Also, head on over to Spotify. Just leave a 5-star, no review to be had, and then bet with us or against us on mybookie.com. Promo code Drinkin Bros doubles your first deposit all the way up to $1,000. For D'Anthony Holloway, I'm Ross Patterson. This is the NFL Pick'em Show, Week 16. Good night, everyone.